do not think that the
When did you become aware of the massive expense?
I actually did not become aware of the massive expense until much later. I did not know what the expense was at the time of the conference that we were paying. I did not know what those expenses were.
And you're the number 2 person in that division.
Yeah, and as I mentioned,
you're oblivious to the expenses. You're totally ignorant of the expenses.
I was not involved in the planning
Who
or the
was?
execution. But they put together a planning team that
yeah, we've all watched The Office. We know what the party planning committee is.
they put together
But
a team.
who specifically authorized this, and when did you realize that it was wrong?
If you look at the Inspector General's report,
No, I want to know from you.
the commission,
You personally, you're in charge. This is what's so infuriating. You're in charge. You have a public trust. You're paid by the American taxpayer to be responsible, to be respectful, to have knowledge, to have oversight. And yet, you can't even tell me when you thought this was wrong. In fact, you're saying that, well, it was a pretty good conference.
The gentleman's time has expired, but I would like to hear an answer to the question. Mr. Kunz, anyone that wants to respond to the gentleman.
Well, I would say the documents we saw that authorized the conference, actually Mr. Fink signed requesting it for Mr. Wagner, the commissioner, and then it was authorized by the 2 deputy commissioners. This was in April of 2010.
So, sorry, clarify that for me. Mr. Fink actually signed off on this?
On the request for approval by the 2 deputy commissioners that he had signed for Mr. Wagner, I believe, in April of 2010, for estimated $4.3 million conference at that point in time.
And so when did you realize that this was wrong? You signed the authorization before it happened.
I'd ask the gentleman to have an additional 2 minutes for this specific and limited line of questioning, please.
Point of personal privilege, Mr. Chairman. I do not watch The Office, so I don't know who the collective we is, but it's not me.
Thank you.
That will be noted for the record.
I appreciate the chairman. Mr. KUTZ is saying you personally signed the documents with the dollars on it before the conference. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I initialed the routing slip that went to.
What does that mean to you?
What that means?
Does that mean do you have any responsibility for that?
I attended the briefing that was done for the 2 deputy commissioners.
Did that include the cost of the conference?
If I remember correctly, the briefing that was done for the 2 deputy commissioners, yes, that included a discussion of the.
And that raised no warning flags. There was no bells that went off in your mind, and you didn't think that that was wrong.
At that time, because of what we were experiencing at the service.
What was that
experience?
experience?
Needs. We were experiencing a whole new taxpayer base that we were interacting.
You testified that when you thought it was wrong is when you became aware of the expense. But we just heard from Mr. KUTZ, you signed off on a routing slip. You participated in meetings, understanding the cost before the conference happened. Are you here just claiming no responsibility at this point?
Absolutely not. That's why I am here.
Right. The gentleman's time has expired. But Mr. Fink, strictly for the purposes of we put you under oath.
Yes, sir.
If I heard correctly, and maybe if necessary we could have it read back, you would answer that you were not aware in some fashion of the cost of these. And then Mr. Kunz made it clear that you signed a routing slip. You made it clear that you attended briefings in which you knew cost. Would you like to revise your initial statement about not being aware of the cost? It's not about whether it's justified, but I think that the IG's investigation would say that you want to be much more accurate. Okay. Did you know about the cost, and if so, when, which is what I think the gentleman's line of questioning is. And I don't want to trap anyone, but I can't square those two right now.
Okay. I was aware of the cost when we did the estimated cost of 4.3 when we did the briefing for the 2 deputy commissioners of the Internal Revenue Service. That's when I became aware of the estimated cost.
And that was 4.3.